se denim remuno wontri fa mehim ma yenni mane nyeye ana day wono so kire na adwene wo ho
na a second respondent lawyer Akoto Ampa wojama mampani na Nadanko Kufodo enso ka se de chatutika tamo eye wo ho no enye bebia asem na kwakoduru no nti mo ntia se asem na koso na wasa ko file application for say my lord ebe ya ensem we pade ni kwase mo soso ampa so panifo tie
yatwekoi yatwobae ne nyina chi no atemuafo ede de wo mo ntiase ene de omadwene ye wo mo wo mremu no ede todwa papepe ye mo so si wo ho ye bebo amwate
lawyer Kojo Oponkroma eka lawyer fo no na owie no ne amansan di nkita ho se nyame ni bebia ndisi fo nsem no ekeka kono musimo wadansefo num mudi mienu aba ayefo ye nto nkomo no so a application bio o nkofo mu di agro papa
wenum nyina ana wosomunti abo modya da atonsa frɛ emranimfo aloyafo kuku dambi se ebrete se mu ne hia wo mu nti no wɔn so mɛboa ne nkyekire mu se bɛyɛ a wo wanya da agye ahwɛ wo mpo a woteye na twatwoburofo no ebi mu odu nti wante ase no yabubu mu ade akotwika sam am wate ase ye ne lawyer Asante Bekwen betwe nkomo sada so ana lawyer Morisa Mponso ewala ne so a ono so no betwe nkomo
na ye ka Supreme Court nsem amane aputupuru abeto dwanse abrante bi onya fiche duonu mienu wa kaposi ni bi nsa manate o ka so Millennium City eba ne sei
sada so ana ye de ne bekire adeso amane a abeto apono so ye nsentwe ne Isaac Ofuru ne de akire mu se Emma enyem ya ekwayar sabia ewa adreso aban ya sabia no wo mu tiese apefo ka de ma wo mu no asa ebi ni ho inti Facebook na wo mu ato ne twetwe mu de ma apefo no na no ba ko 20 Ghana apefo no se wo mu ni sika na nesefo no se mu beto ente sa obedai
enkako the post sadom no so anopaya tituni Adenta Divisional Police Command no omotimi atu anamo ana omachi mranti omotiti motorbike so omon register na fe omudi nyoma bi ensem fata bokro no na emu makomako aduonum 50 ena odo a won
ensem weka pe ho ne yede dan so oman no sia bremu kase ne kure kase ana yede dan wo ye kan sam na sade yete de wase ompa ebo ene do a wodo yenti ena awurade hu ye mobo me yakwanya se ne kure kase no ye nto aso da enfan down ti na wo voice note abane agebra ye ho adwuma ti ama on number no 0248 085485 0248 085485 Meka was the Time Center ewo Makola shopping mall office to wono ana ya na voice note no fa ho kamu akwanya ma wote onebeka ho was kwaje watch heart rate monitor na mbo no akoma ho nsem nyina da hunu mu bi High Lady Virgin Herbal Intimate Wash women company ne madage ade obode potete wono woduro na ma ho yehwam oba ho ye weso Vidank Healthcare and your dream fatty liver, kidney stones, liver mu yade pa ni kidney mu de me pa cho Ghana ha ho last stop usan ho ni da so sam enye no ko hypertension no nwenum nyina da Dr. Victor Nanadanko Nyankopon tum wetu asem amwotuma de ahrusie ni akwahosa kofie da Meko Company Limited e bonum rane se papa na tama ana ode roofing sheet aba se ye da yetumi da na ho no osuo beto ehum betu owia bebo roofing sheet no etimdi etim sade wire no ye kama akuduro ne gidi owo mu ntinom Omanfm hia no wo se hugu nsogu nkra fabra no wonye bre ema afoforo se be ya wonso woni beje omadaroma ede de no krekasie edan wakokomoto yam na odonfo odomada wahia bofo apafo no kwafo a ye na agyamudie yanyi bi da na yanyi bi nsusu da kata chimensa enemedin menemenu
owo ahene entwibu esiakon
ye kasie no ne nkyeremu ni
107.1 This is how it is done. Oman shaping the nation.
Abusia ya kausa kasene demo live ewo Oman FM live Facebook ukako heyo hono do adwen chira fa so na ash 101.1 FM Asante Mantem Crew pon Kumasimu na ukopiem awasinfo so 90.1 FM the pride of Central amoso etete kasene bi apete won patem ho ukopiem awo Shama Junction Nyansapo e de watching kron achiripo enkron na to so abepiem ewo Osimpam 95.5 ewa futu winiba wenchi ewiase achim afosu ananse 104.9 ena moso etoka sene bi apete ena afi ukọ UK about radio hima kru monso to apete akase no monfo wa mano nyina etie ewo na internet so www.omanfm1071.com afi yentim ensemno moy yero chachuchi kata na ni da kwanse na de omai court kuni ni batan Supreme Court ene de toso nkro a watena se efa eye abato nchini wa hyewa kane mampani John Dramani Mahama so nten hwasenti wadane ede kokoto se be ya atemuafo makomako enso a Chief Justice eye temuafo penitena mu bi no obeje nsam de ama no na no de na kan tripo nyina se yenko rerun no ne mampani na nadan kwakufado emfasi enu kan na chese omumfa no so na ekuadonkom Kofi Akpalum de ologo mungu baby na se mo didi dia anti ya cross examine eyira Johnson Esedu nkatia ema odini de nyina kwa kodudu baby ko so nya betwani nti mrasem na mo de ba pa de ne mbo mbedi mdoko no kwa isa oye betwani nti sa no no beka no na Dr. Kwesa White nso akwa no de nan kanida kwa se eye lawyer Chatuchi Kata odina ma petitioner no obetoto ma Jane Mensa no ye first respondent no ano busebusa nsem afemu koduru court a asem a obeka ne se my lord my application for person na mo hwem asem ya ye here original copies efa document abato ehun nsema ye church fi police station kosi constituency ekosi regional eba national ni nyina no ye fa original copy ne mo nko hwem na omo wonsem bi se bi onweti akwa kobusa na ye nkonko tie se ne lawyer Chatuchi Kata eko resisa ensem ne bai na ekosi eye isi lawyer so kopimo eye mampani lawyer so ama ajaje fo no ebo ensem ne tugu ye ntie no.
My lords, we filed the request on the 19th of January. And my lords, this is a situation in which, by virtue of Rule 5 of CI 16, we believe that this court essentially adopts CI 47. And therefore, in respect of CI 47, it is Order 21, Rule 9. As we indicate in Exhibit Inspection 2, we filed a search which indicates that there has been no response whatsoever to the request that we made to the first respondents. Now, my lords, there is no question that the first respondent is the person with lawful custody of the documents which we seek to inspect. And it is also quite clear that these documents are public records in the custody of the first respondent. Your lordships will note that each of the categories of documents that we refer to in paragraphs 1 to 5 of the request are originals. Constituency presidential election results in accordance with the various forms that are required to be exhibited. So what we're asking for are originals of these documents.
Lawyer Chatuchi Kata, a lead counsel, a dema petitioner, say wasre, say sa inkrata no a inkrata. Our first respondent, Mecha easy for no enchain, and a crata, a amansan in crata will be a bit between the Nicro Trevisia, Ventia Santemo Emubi, and the Cossessa a year, dear lordship no Emma Omoquine, no more inspector Murim, Omumpe a year duplicate no, Omupe original copies no, Yanfamo Erim, and Sana Semnon Kai Atwaso, yet me Atwaso.
I walk out to them who are an lawyer near Wojamo Amabato Commissar, lawyer Amanivo. What it would just say, the Ubu say a hard drink a craft say, and then Yamawa Konya said there will be a file. Ya file, the Ubia will be our file, you now was an art here. Ye dear Samono, now side to be fletched, but now some that any body away. Wokotu mrako dwo ye chese the Uru Chatuchikata Ebusanum and Yadia and Namra Kwemu. Yenti, lawyer Amanivo.
My lords, we are opposed to this application. And my lords, we rely on all the depositions in the affidavit in opposition. My lords, under Article 64(1) of the 1992 Constitution. The petitioner has had 21 days from the date of the declaration to file this petition. Because we have not been told in this court that between the time of the declaration to the time the petition was filed, any such request has been made. Well, secondly, the question is asked, why is this application being made on the 34th day after the petition has been filed, when hearing is well underway? My lords, if you peruse exhibit inspection 1, the document filed purports to give the first respondent 3 days from the date of service to comply. Lords, with the greatest respect, there is no such rule of this court under which this application was made, or even under the High Court rules. Yes, but my lords, even so, it talks about 14 days. Mutual discovery talks about 14 days, my lords. Lords, I say this because under Rule 5 of your rules, oh, sorry, my lords, of the Supreme Court rules, with your kind permission, if I may read, where provision is not expressly made by these rules regarding the practice and procedure which shall apply to a cause or matter before the court shall prescribe the practice and procedure that, in the opinion of the court, the justice of the cause or matter requires. And lords, there have been several authorities on this point that it is the court that you make an application to for guidance in this matter. Lords, my lord, also the point is that, with the greatest respect, the point is that where CI 99, under which the presidential election petition is filed, talks about timeousness, then when you make an application at the particular point in time, in responding to the application, with the greatest respect to the court, we are entitled to make the point as to the timely nature or otherwise of the application. Lord, the second point I wish to make is that the petitioner has failed to prove that the production for inspection by the first respondent is necessary in these circumstances. Lord, this is because the witnesses themselves who came to testify on behalf of the petitioner themselves admit that they have the documents. And Lord, the way this process is that once the document is filled out, or the agents are given the carbonized copies, and we did ask them, both of them, that do you have the documents? They said under oath that we do have the documents. So therefore, if you do have the documents, on what basis is this application being made?
Lawyer Justin Amenuvo, wono enim ranim ni awujinemo ama bato komisa nene ana wote was my lord the lawyers educator ene nkofo pechira kwano ye de ma wo mu a enye yie frisen we CI 99 no a ekyere se ebre eda asam no ye die ne hom nempo no sanka obi ewo application BS wo file a enye bre ye die asam no finfin ana aba be file eni enkantampa no esa wode banta na mpanifo hwehwe mu ansana asamro kra no ye hye ne diase enti ekwan mu ya yegusu ade twasuo no wontumi enkonkofo ade so bi meso obi mane konko ye chinchinan afa mensam a etoso mienu no sem de wono wose wo pe akonya na wakwakwa inspected document ya eno efa abato ya to ye no ho e consensus level any hwani level no wose ya ma no kwan sa enye ye frisem adansefo mbegina adaka mu na no ada wa ha no omo kantam dinsie ewo emra sese yade omo document ni nyina na wo document ni bia o sa kwaje abato commissar de ayedan my lord de wo pe no ye de ma wo mo a enye ye.
Now was some chronamu and a second respondent edema a year the summer di mampenina na danko kufodo lawyer ni mapa a seasoned lawyer akuto ampao ono so furu akonya no say my lord mesumu asembisa ebisa se ma enkofo kwan eye petitioner e kwan se onko inspector enye mera kwan so no esan se omo as amanyoko omunya copy sanso na political parties ahodo aka nyina ma me akwa donko ne anamusi ni unya bi awa hwemu a ono age ne fum so atum se odi ntwo gum osofo wakoto na bible so o ka na me asem esan so anko yi na se nyina ya document bi a esi dai na chinchina twan chachu ebeka idiomatic expression bro fa kase wa ha se chinchina ya man ko expect my lord se ye ne sa na ogidi se was with greatest respect na nye court ni proceedings a yedi asem no ne kwan so ano no.
My lord, we believe that at the heart of this application is the question of which party bears the burden of persuasion and the burden of producing evidence. My lord, I say so because the petitioner, by the admission of his own witnesses and by law, has carbonized copies of all the processes from the polling station right up to the regional level and then even to the National Coalition Center. They have copies of all the documents through carbonized copies. Therefore, where the petitioner raises a question about the authenticity of any document, he must first produce what he has and show that what he has is different from what the other party has. Secondly, if it is in respect of the declaration, the petitioner has all the documents that will enable him sum up the results, the national results of all the candidates. He has the carbonized copies of relevant documents that will enable him sum up the total number of valid votes he got, the total number of valid votes the second respondent got, and the total number of valid votes the other candidates had. My lord, the petitioner, for reasons best known to himself, has refused to present this before the court when he bears the burden of proof. He has refused to take any steps to meet that burden. He has refused to produce any documents to meet his burden of producing documents. Then he turns round and under this guise of application to produce evidence, he's saying that produce a document. He's trying to garner the evidence that he use to prosecute his case. My lord, this, with all due respect, is a totally misconceived procedure.
Lawyer Akoto Ampao and Ekase Obia Wonkratani bi political parties are who do ejina nyina e wonkratani bi esidai e na obejina court say yema okwannes akohwe original copies no ademo de no enkate no madakwaje awe na e wo fa he enfa no matogu na se yema kwan sa na chese entwa yi eno ne nsema second respondent lawyer Akoto Ampao e de bai
na eno akire no atemuafo no etie nsam tia fadu ni nyinada ebusebusa mu nsam a na na kwakwa wie se omodo mu aye eba efa nsam a lawyer Charichukata and a lawyer for Edibeda woman no see a makwan my inspection so makwan yentie and somewhat Chief Justice Editor Kakra.
Intelligence. Indeed, Regulation 44 of CIA 127 from sub-rule 7 to 11 inclusive set out the different forms to be completed at the various stages of the electoral process and copies of same given to the accredited agents of each candidate. The applicant has not demonstrated that he has no copies of the documents in question. In fact, on record, PW and PW2 have admitted on note that the petitioner has copies of all the documents. The application for discovery and inspection requires the discretion of the courts. The guiding principle is that in all cases in which a court makes an order for discovery, it is a matter of discretion and not as of right. In the ordinary way, where there are issues of facts between the parties, the court will generally make such an order. However, in the instant case, the applicant has not raised any issue that he has no copies of the documents of the subject of this application. In view of the fact that the proceedings so far shows the petitioner has copies of all the documents the subject of this application, we are of the opinion that no proper case has been made before us to warrant the exercise of our discretion in favor of the applicant. Order 21 of CR 47, which is the basis of this application, should not be read in isolation. It should be read in conjunction with Rule 11 of the said order. It says that an order for the production of any document for inspection or to the court shall not be made under any of these rules unless the court is of the opinion that the order is necessary either to dispose fairly the cause or matter or to save cost. End of quote. Furthermore, Section 166 of the Evidence Act, NRCD 323 of 1975, makes it clear that a duplicate of a document is admissible to the same extent as the original unless a genuine question is raised as to authenticity of the original of the duplicate. No issue has been raised against the authenticity of the duplicates in possession of the applicant. The discrepancies which learned counsel for the petitioner has alluded to in his submissions as having occurred in the declaration of 9th December 2020, the press release of 10th December 2020, and the answer and witness statement of the first respondent are issues of evidence and do not give cause for discovery of the documents under consideration. From the above reasons, the application is dismissed.
Chief Justice and Yatin his lordship Justice and Yabua and Unyabotre Ekam Mako and also Winumunti application Yadismith as Yabot work baby Yanya de camera as somewhere ye one a pay a bread to say monum a Mrafinchem and Yadia Juma ye and you'll be Ajuneke.
Na court no kwa assistant we no and a second respondent a lawyer for and so ejina simpeni a person and some trafo din kita ho de odi kan okasai a owesa no eye abrofo kasem force ayi de bimra shebedwani was cancel ye lawyer ni mapa o ye soafo ya boni din oti apata se ohwede obonwuma so nyanfo kodwo ponkroma ene some trafo din komo se nyame ni de yakoso no in fact enye we na nka ehwe ni munne esa se amanebo na toto so a o se nka ehwe ni se anototo be koso na se ne after now be filing new applications. Say open original copy, open original document, original way. Original so yama ubi. What do you know he? You need to cry. Ubu says zebet madam. Now this is for more dear away. Yinti lawyer could drop on chroma.
Dr. Kwesa White was put in the box yesterday. The crux of his evidence was that he and Mr. Rojo Metonunu were deceived by the EC chair with an instruction to leave the EC premises during the collation. And upon further cross-examination, he admitted that the EC chair could not actually instruct them so to do. We have been waiting for the evidence or further witnesses who will provide evidence that nobody crossed the 50% mark. This is the government of their case. Today, we were seized, or the court was seized with an application that was filed yesterday. And I heard our colleagues who just left say that this has been there for a while. It's not true. Check the date on the application. This application was filed yesterday. But be that as it may, this application is aimed at giving the petitioner an opportunity to go and inspect some documents. Inspection of documents generally is allowed in litigation. but it is not a matter that you have as of right. It is at the discretion of the court. And you have to convince the court or establish something before the court for the court to grant it. You have to prove that there is some necessity for you to be given leave to inspect those documents. Mr. Chachuchikata on his feet for about an hour trying to establish the necessity for which they should be granted leave to inspect these documents. And you heard counsels on the side of the first and second respondents argue that no necessity has been demonstrated because all of those documents are already in the custody of the petitioner. And the petitioner has not demonstrated before the court that there's anything wrong with the copies that he has, and therefore asking to inspect the originals. In the
Lawyer Kojo Opon Nkrumah Enetinino.
Na yakosoda enyina ensamo yedema we so na enwochi no a lawyer for ejina mu ama mampende da John Dramani Mahama yendisi a lawyer for no kasama for kasa ye nkutahudie bofotene ma endisi amanyuko no lawyer Samejamfi na se ye no so echere nsemu enwochi no na bi nso ekasae
lawyer Chachuchikata amtibi no na asem wo kan ye ne tofa bo mu nyina ne se sa documents ayeka ho asemi se court no anhye electoral commission for Omanfm ma court ama ya anhwehwe mu a enya de a atentene ni betumi aye adwuma na yatumi ehu emmadodo a epiem e wo 2020 presidential elections ni mu na senti okasa ne se yaboto abato ba ko e bia da yete
Samejamfi na wo kasa
7 December 9 December Jimensa or returning officer who declare results the figures between what is it or bosso or the total valid votes or the two in that declaration 13,434,574 consumer again ya na mami asanso asesana no e the figures for fraba the womb 30,433,573. After the total valid votes in Ukraine, another figure 13,119,460. You be peer court or so. No, I answer the figure for Fraba. So, figure original, so they declare original, so they declare Banama and Penyaku for Adono. They say they are 30,121,111. Let's say, according to lawyer Chachuchikata, figures no adoso. Ye nim the documents in krata EC agents of the figures we in our eba. It is a attending in Yaba court. No crane in Yaba court. Near present peri your Jumadia. And you need the munos as a court on the best EC. No more this krata nabani in yet me as a ship. Now, our request is to say you, and your crest a yenea no make his our request, and it said ye, Yenyanum Ekaye.
Samejamfi ena otie oye mranimni ya waka mampende da John Dramani Mahama lawyer for ekwama no e Supreme Court no ehon ni nyina chi no lawyer Henry na Nabuache na bi wono so ekire dediemu
enti ene ye de krata ba betu court anim se eye krata omo ankasa omo ho bidada sanse emra no eye CI 127 no ehye isi keten se woto aba no police station wie na se ye kenkan ye hwegu ho na ye de ni nyina no egu krata so a eye parties obi bio take part bia na musini no eho behia se obenya krata ni bi ebiem se eba constituency nso a emra ne hye keten se krata na ye bunkunta egu so ne ya che obia ema onya ye no eno nso emra ne hye isi keten se party bia na musini no ebenya eno nso copy saa ena oba region so a etie ena oba national so a etie eye petitioner eba no wankasa nkratai onya bi onka ba bia sada ewo ne krata ode aba betu court mu enne omo say 275 constituencies no yemfa ho nkratai nyina emnyina ma omo easy emfa ma omo ebiem all the 16 regions no so no easy emfa ho nkratai nyina ma omo ansana yeba national so yemfa ho nkratai nyina ema omo abusuafo nea ehu hia ye pa ne se sankrata nyina nso omu obi dada etiene se obehwa kasatintin wo hoi entoponko twene nso animu da ho a ye monche mu etinya kasatintin donhwere no ene nsem a obeka asabia ye ntwanchia no ɛna ɛno bɛka sɛ ɔwɔ asɛm enti ɛnɛ wohwɛ easy lawyer na wohwɛ ɛyɛ president Nana Akufo-Addo lawyer ɛsɛm ɔmo kan na gyina mmara no so ɔmo se saa nkrataa yi nyina ɔmo wɔ bi ina ebie mu nso no ɔmo hu hia ɔmo ntumi ɛnda no di sɛ ɛho bɛhia sɛ ɔwɔ sɛ wei no yɛde ma ɔmo
lawyer Henry Nana Boachene ana wotiye Nana B wona ne mabunu don frɛfo ma MPP amanyuko no wosan so ɛka a lawyer fo a ejire mu ɛwɔ Supreme Court ama emampani ana dan Akufo-Addo no ho ana wote sɛ wɔkyɛ de kɔso no mu ɛwɔ kankasa mu ɛde amaye no
Yanko ahoma no so yamade bɔfo a ɔto nkrade free Supreme Court obra sɛ asɛm no ase ebesi ne na before that no electoral commission ho no na ɔho bi de kɔso bi ɔdani krotwa wisi no hwete asantem ehunu binti court no ɔn na ɔkɔfa nsɛm ɛde brɛ Kwaku Steven aba ahoma no so mekwaku wadaroma yɛnde ne ni hɔ de ode brɛ ne yabrobro so a wode na ɔte hɔ de kɔso nyina wani gani uhunu bi utwamfoni sema kakra etre mu akyere atifo a de course na nyina na ne tia wotwam ne sai
well why and the Supreme Court no say na do na ndim na the motion aye petition aye back say the man aponya America on taking aye and kasa ni the aye electoral commission no so and I say odi boaboaye and money na it's no any motion you got chachu at file here. In fact, after bed on shape up you got chachu making an argument that was Supreme Court and I feel the first and second respondents for almost one more argument and by a judge phone song. Almost sending I'm say that be and seminal and by unanimous decision. I judge phone song I'm boy you got chachu chicata and seminal to be say not your man sapuyano. Now with me yes when you have documents no me no can say judgment about here pay and I will chachu so I say I'm different witness ka court man the kwanya aside witness is won't be on my panel I'm third witness and can say I'm modern ba I know na yura aye justice and lead the chief justice say associated witness here okay I'm tender I'm da ho kata say abre court na and I will chachu etse say da bi I'm fa say kata say me embaye na ye no ka se kura na ade a sa third witness no ne ho fa no etika sa judge for no ma ho kwan ya a lawyer for bugina mu petition no o ma be ho judge for no in their chambers na fe o mo ne o mo discuss kwan bet ma fa so a na kon bet ma bo ma mo third witness no o ti me ba adaka bu na fo mo ti be bisa
Kwaku nyabotre wo se petitioner no lawyer chachuchi kata se third witness adansini otoso miensa omuwo a mo pese mo de ne ba obegina mu no a mo mfa ne nkrata nso nkodan court mrakwan so ansa na court makwan no ne ho sa dodo no nti o mo pese mo ne ajagefo no kotena kokuam so mbemu akwanya na
sabe pe wine in fact anupo eteki by surprise the colon say say the witness about file witness statements but then we no ankoba ne sa mu nya file witness statement bia ti judgment be we pen achachu e de to bia say omo wo aye third witness anka court ne ma ho kwan ya person they introduce on those na ka obeboa but then witness no ne ho fa no I say they are so I don't want to do kakra no court no ebe ma ho kwa na fe say in camera say bi am ko record ya na kwan bi akọ de ma pia no no ma fa so na am decided witness no statement them say me no na ba no them say enye enough moment so mo prepared one e dey aka ho no say establishment no I ade anyam ne adoma fiada court be decided say third witness no mo ka no o me ma ho kwan na so mo ma ho kwan enu twemu a na fi apie kwan na tuma ma ye the cross examination of the first respondent e ma Majin Mensa enu etimi akoso enu echi na fi Peter McMillan so etimi abada I know
Kwaku ye beda wase na da be na court no be sa kwasetena
why ne court bet na say nyame adom afia da ebe na so ma we fi say and that bako 42 yes I 99 no e ma kwan si efa nsem no and then day 34 at is ohwemu technically no aka and na bako wo hwe I say judge one hwe and what be on my team one say judgment eba and it hwe say na ne ma e na free baby am need to say e be bit me twemu 42 no but then yeah hwe say be a judge for no say na emrane ka no the law lies in the bosom of the judges no yeah hwe the judge for no try am besi I was 42 days when na for ya hwe be and the bakusi
Mo. Yes, I'm Johnny Kwaku 7 eton kray free Supreme Court. The Akoso aye abato onchini washono enchechimo and wadiamaino.
The award-winning journalist Kwaku 7 and I would tell Kano adeba ko de na koma so paa abato ho nsam ene ye to aba wona na wo twekra no obegina na so e de ho nsam aba Nyankopon hira Kwaku ne kura kase ne de dan we na koto nsam na nchekra na e nya da ba na wie yentinom se de dana da ya na ye yema mo no enche ne lawyer for me no be kasa lawyer Morris Ampawe legal private practitioner sadan so na lawyer Kwame Asante Bekwem wono so na be twenkomo e wo ne kura kase mo me ka wo se kasa fidie bia da woroma ana bia wo bia da wo ti yanka e wo no kura kase yi mo yesasa stations ahodo atwe ho hia Ghana ha anya samkotoa na okokumase a Ash 101.1 second to none sadan so ana senfo so the pride of Central nap radio ewo ho a wo moto no kura kase bia petem any stations ahodo a aba abadwano no kura kase to bia petem da munya da masenya Nyankopon hira mo enche kra obete lawyer Morris Ampawe anase lawyer Asante Bekwem enka ewo no kura kase mo ne gusoda epusu homa se benya emranimfo mu biare no atwen komo no mtutum ne ka enko adeso yesen twene Isaac Ofori this story bi achi ewa adeso na rehoso ma babeto yapno so ekire mu se apenfo anase ma ekọ ayasabia ewa adeso no womokwa de adeso health center mpenifo ka che wo mu ne se eye buku anase card de ma apenfo no asa ebi ni ho enti womonkofie na ewiase no na nese fo no se dabi Some buy a sabia de mamon confuse anom koto exercise book me chen to 1 into ba na ya twe details agumo na pin for card no na e free na so we de ye twe details agumo wi a ye se ye 20 Ghana cedis amaisi ye nisika o omo se ene na mum kopa besia metua fe se 20 Ghana cedis saa na ye ton no ye nteso ye nsentwe ni Isaac Ofori ene woni ye kwaya sabia ne bitwetwe nkomo ema no ye nti apin for no nsam kakra
20 Ghana. Almost all my dom, or my auto, and almost all my tongue. 20 Ghana.
And yes, I look at on the promotion.
Say, stop. What's your name?
Well, once in 50 pesos, and I found out 20 cities, and then I won't miss that. Tell me some matter.
I saw almost all my cotton or motor on the end to me, Miss.
Esta es lo que no estamos 20 cities. Es un poco de sonsa de Jimusca.
20 pesos.
What are the things I do say?
Yeah, man, call it.
Over Hatching.
20 Ghana na meti yao.
20 Ghana cities.
20 Ghana na meti yao.
20 Ghana cities. Na ese muko private ne muko muko say
Omo se omo ma receipt wa into your baby pick no from.
Now we know a Tom I was saying
20 Ghana na meti yao.
20 Ghana cities. Na ese muko private ne muko jinson so eji musika.
We na me ngi so ada. And the first na me ba.
Oh, na first time wa ba.
Also 20 cities.
20 cities.
Bachayo.
A size book.
Bachayo.
Now when we say na ton size book jom.
Na bonya de.
150. Na o say na mu ba ha na mu say mo de bi frifie ba e amoji. O de book no frifie ba amoji.
Omo ya da.
Se bia wanga sa wa adwen so de size book no be frifie ba na.
Omo nje.
Enti enkomoe ekoso ewo yansentwene Isaac Ofori ne apemfo a eko Adeso Health Center entem ni nyina de sempedifo chese apemfo ka de ma wo mo no asa eno nti anesefo na yade akwakoto exercise book ya ebuo eye 1 cedi 50 pesos na omo mo akomu suku no mo do mpe na atwere mu de eno mo bua o meto mo 20 Ghana opa tompa afroko enti eno ana na yansentwene Isaac Ofori eno omo atwetwe nkomo na enche impuso homa na ye ne Isaac atwetwe nkomo na nsem omo echi nkomo kakra enfama ye ewo ne kura kase mu aba ne san ana akwa kodru de edrei enche kura benya Isaac na atwetwe nkomo aba homa no so Isaac modwom akwa ba Isaac modwom akwa ba o
Hello.
Yeah, Isaac Ofori yeah owaso me entie o me pacho
Hello.
Isaac Ofori. address no
I say age no so ya che no o se na nefi
no o te ba si ye no so nti
o wa musie no anya na nya ye wanyini pa age ya che no yesa pusu ko ase benya Isaac ofori bi mu na ensemo yi
o mai na me fa a message kakra o man for here Facebook o man for the message I say uku esuboy I'll say obvious the petitioner has a weak case and or the about Odri or sick COVID-19 is not normal disease like the way we see it. Or not in the about Sally Futamba is watching us. Or hey, good evening, 750 Mafo. Sana Nana Usu OPD Sunyane or say I'm doing everything possible to protect myself from COVID-19. Why are there? Michael Lado or say please maybe are there for you.
Ofi Isaac Asamba menno enwe Isaac mwadwuma kwaba
mejizo kaka
aha na empom ye de
nyame ado
ye de yakopon ase wani afipa ete no na ye pese hwe wompom me pacho enkomo a wodi wani edi akire ene enwie kurakura ba ne sen ene kosi sen
yo kaka asemu ye nyantie efa suban a eye management ne tabi edi wo address center ho enu nam so ma na ni angata me to anamo akoye na me kotena hospital me hu nyama bebre se ne ya di kandi voice ne tuja no e ma ne kire mu a exercise boost a enu ne di atu ya plapo hu se exercise ka eto no 160 pesos no enu na penifo ato ko e na ya di lamination yi bi ahye ho oba ya se enu ye antenatal card na ya ton ma 20 cedis na exercise group ye ton no 160 pesos na ma ne kire mu se so one way one drink class we ko to exercise book na to china ode aba enya de a empany for more hospital no be dia to then say omo adani business e na omo ye wo na nu na e mai che mo e kwan a omo de omo fa so no e kanet ani ya ye kaka se enu na e chi no enu no bi ho wo be ko no omo say health insurance and cover na ne edisi o mi ankasa mani mu abayo ba ko ba ye omo say dro na or na health insurance and cover omo mani tua ena mame ne kire se eni omo mani receipt na se ne be o kofi ano ni kunu e kwa challenge asa na se ni kunu so health insurance enti obetumi the receipt na kire se ne buy no omo jinista omo say receipt bi eni ho a omo de be mama mi ena mame se eni on che e ho na nurse fo no agi e dro na fi mame ne nsam e de sika ma ne ena mo prescribe wo form so ma ne se eni onko drugstore no nkoto ni nyina ne se mame ne akodi money for receipt na can is the hospital there omunye bibi na odi money for receipt there na omuko ko apai esa ne se enyama dudu na omuye oho no enya dia receipt dudu na ewo so no na amanfo owo chemu a empenfo entrance na omunhwe se omatuni atwa na mo na okodu ho so esenie kwan a workers ni bi efa so ye adwuma ho no kata eyare wo papa ye bia me kotena ho no ni obegina phone so no ogina phone so omo office ahodu a
address health center some na wokan
address health center some na me kai me
kata edru no a yes health insurance nkova na yaji misika no yemma ho receipt ayema ho na
decide na okoko apai
to
extend say kata
me pacho woni center ne penefo di nkomo no ensamu na omu ekire musan
kata penefo ndudu na nyawa adwini so mbekasa na se obeka yam se ayinu mu no fa toilet ne urine na bia asem so no me nya akwanya ne sanka me ni disease control penye oda no ebe ordin chechemu ma me nyoka ne se omo hunfum so bia se enei urine na any toilet a asori bia ba besia ma omo free no enei uyare na oba ho a ye charge you unko junso ase ye 20 pesos private na kwa ye 30 pesos o me kwa ayi na omo sima omo no free of charge enti empenifo na ho no do na omo beso mbekasa ensa no se elimu omo hu se niama na ekoso no ensem fata enti kata ye ni die che papa prayer ye hwese niama ekoso at the health center ho no ya dia ompenifo betumi do mo na from se ne be ya nurse fo ne niama omo je sa niama na omo ye
me pacho nyankopon ya dom akina fulumame ebe ya uduru ho ama me na dieta ne nkasa why ya waso won kasa sasen won kasa se center ne dia ana asa die ntra ti wo de odom foto mo a kina uduru ho a ma me ne nkasa why
Wadaroma.
Yakopon show. Yes, and Johnny Isaac Ofori and Yatin
2021 Code, Ubien wa, Obes Sansam, Webes,
Ya own Casano or Ghana Odia. And a Jumano Ioba Paddy.
A simple.
Share Abajumana Yamagana,
Ghana Health Service, no motion must intimidate some benefit, add their
health center. Uko red no what's health insurance and cover me see you
mate
first cabra metua mami receipt boy na I smoker ana marijuana
covid nso mu kumu nuanum Ghana for
eh dey asem
krani na Omanfm bi adwen po ababe cancer nti o se efrem eye Mainstorm the citizen NDC don't have any case and on other aba Jones Wiafe Akenten Jr. I say good evening Omanfm and crew. Good work, Pascal. Watching you live from Accra Central. Kojo and Chroma. I always said there's some guys here working from NDC office. And no person say, Obrofono and we. Akwasi Kisi from Gumwa Enkra. I say good evening, Ghanaians. I want to ask the EC lawyers, will they object the petition documents if they use their documents to calculate for them? Because the documents are same as the first and second respondent as the first and okay kosikisiate na Nicholas Sechi was say kasatenten enko na NDC lawyers enim and you meet Macron Akon Sabina was say when road is being constructed and it doesn't pass through your farm you say the road is straight and you can say am for fumo so e kwan dey tino
contractor dey there
oh when it jine kwan na we twa so aban asphalt san. Now, you will say the road is straight, but NDC is crying. Don't cry. What happened in 2013 will happen in 2021. Watching you live from Asen Akomfode. Hey, and Akomfode, I'm not working in Anaso.
Omaniabre.
Asen ho. Eboma was super. Branti. Divine. Was NDC. Any John Mahama Maya Sunko did you tom Alex Edifree Malam Junction. Or say, hey, the Nyamiasi Ghana for a Supreme Court case you now to some pa. NDC bit may win court of the public opinion because of lies. You yate Alex no. Ante Araba or say why is Chatuchikata disturbing the court? Na copies na why na copies. Aha, ye betro wasiwa. Frank Ewu Adifikulebu or say John Mahamani lawyers no omunye serious. Kojo Edifree Abokobi or say let all Ghanaians follow the COVID-19 protocol and the Udika and also our transport operator to sack those who will not transport operators trotro. Oh Jai is here almost for say first 10% penna omotion nose was here 42 and akwakudu yeah koswa she hun kran say yen nose mas no right you are into us
Roger Kandi frache mota no dia benos lawyer to Jukata we shoot 2 hours and what they can answer Supreme Court na sana emra ba kokura nim wugina ho ana aso wo hunhuna ajaje fo na me kam papa nan ana me ka wi hwe enye nse ne di ne ho eduru ho yemra ti wo ne case dia ne pe fa Freeman Edifree Teshi la scholar was Ghana for bitrimo ebi ye wicked hwe de ekoso ada so yi was Ghana Health Service omunye ho adwuma papa na penimu na wada no was wode ne obi kapa into dware fon woni ntete bread ti se yimu ye obi ani se ye ni normal times mu na apemfo eba hospital no to one SS book eto ne say 150 pesos was me to am 20 Ghana opa atompa na de kro no so no was remoda munye ho adwuma na de wo kan se say woni eto aba mama mpendra John Dramani Mahama no usi obia na wo ka se otuma Mahama wan hwe bebodua odi duabo bi gina wo a uru mfido bia no ho se otoma dwani kwasi ro no difra ko no dopin was NDC supporters no ese ye bom kokopa be so mu leaders no sheda ato anansesem ese dinkati anwunu bibi dugu mu tirim so wo mo wini okai na no da mampene da John Dramani Mahama ne press conference obe ye wakunkum nanim se ene ye wini ene obi antra so be so mondio yeah gata meka kwasi ro no di front of no dia be
o se wa ele ni apocalypto move
wakunkum nanim ya say we wini no obi awia no say what woni hwe ba bia ni case ne ya desimisi bi no Eric ya buade odene ho defitema was the president John Dramani Mahama ni NDC form ese mo pagana fo acho papa ne mo supporters acho entro ana mudi kire Ghana fo mo wanda hon kontompo ne na braba Jojo de Frikasoa and Jojo Blankson ye reporter very reverend Jojo Blankson was say what dana konwa mu a wotie was say some de fi dede hu no wo ye no so was wo bema ya wo Supreme Court there nim na won kwa che de wo che no na ko bi hu no sumless level na wo say we ase nye free sa
na ye be home so aja boafo nkrato aba ye to nkrai ba mo voice note no de akabia no ye be so mo
Ade pano no kofa bae
Makwaba the mobile crackers so Omanfm YouTube live. I will a chant. Greetings to you all. Lawyer Chatuchi Kata. Or say Sabi la Chatu format no atonsum or forms is here. Mahama. Sana Molus Mahama Fen na namoda form team. Abankwa Grace, also watching you live from Italy. Good work done on Omanfm. Million City TV, also election petition no attention. They deceive their supporters. Propaganda can't work at the competent court of the highest judicature. So don't take rumors. And not to the evidence and propaganda there. Faustina Techi a year watching you live from London. Competent newscasters and news readers. God bless you all. I say, I mean, you bribe. Why, Auntie Fosti? You need some trophy. You bribe the whole Ghana. Kumsen Brain Abeku also John Mama will soon go to court for his airbus.
Dana da me kan say wafode na kire wabosi nti ya nche bibia keke o bi wosika gudem na hwan basa na nam da bi be brunsam ana se be for na dresses a awrade yi wadom no to nsam a na wa hye no mnyam ewo wafade mu na ye kama was a friend 0205 355 884 0205 355 884. High Lady Virgin Heba Intimate was a woman companion. Emma Edejade. Oh, Toda City, ya yen to the baby Asiano, Nasabi, a default trophobia, the grato pre. Then you understand, Oba Urim second diocese, a how, unpleasant odor, vagina itching, vagina discharge, a joa braboso. A more what dear new go, now so changing a train, was would you for Mompire Mount, and no any Jumasa. Obedi wonsi kanyina bompaye fra na poko se nwumre ha no bekoso that na ho eje koto High Lady Virgin Heba Intimate wash ne to ase ma meka ho asem no ya so ma mem o ka hye drug le obenya bi kuma se blessed reke temade mese bia papa se otoduro Little George Health Shop Little George Watema come to 5 PV obi run about and the president so dan ntem butu udru ha obejo wa watu aboa mo nya High Lady Virgin Heba Intimate wash new organic product both local and foreign. Fantoma bonnet ya no mwa na nso nya negie ewo asetena mu vidanka se ye ne yedrei na vidanka de ye bodinya Ghana fododo na efe no nidaso fi se amahan foforo bi apue ama woni ana yade tete wo mo woni ana yade do mo ahye sumu nipa bia na yade atoma brabo so a edubrebe no mo tie mu se me pa menie me anaka metumi koba hwe abusua me anaka metumi botoma esi bibi so ma menya bebua aka adomfo me ana makafo yi
titru ne se kidney and liver
ama wona sia hohono
no tatai
na ede uko wo mu vidank ba ye no gwaje ade ne nyina agu ho wa mo anso yade no wato agu baabi ama mo de fa ho de nkunimde ne osebo ne mumume ekofie ompewe na apede yin ye ka ho asa no ma ho ye ha tenten no apɛ Dr. Victor Nanadan kwa chira kwan wono ankasa ne wo ho woni a doctor fa kuku dama omo ye specialist ene wo ho e beje bre ye di fidie ahodo abefo fidie ahwe mu jamu naja ye tuyade ne sama mo so onwa kwa hosan na chira kwan ya gida Ghana Hospitals Road Coca-Cola Runabout Fidelity Junction Standard Chartered Bank chi ana ubutu wase friend 0549 951 211 and as 0502 661 346 and a doctor number Dameco Company Limited the bonum ransa papa say we sit down Ghana ha na roofing sheet no enfi Dameco ha nasa wonya guy no na just say dano so enche ebebu agu efri say one control roofing sheet no Dameco ne dia no nko a na bua medanya hotene efri say ya shada ye ne Ghana wada ne dia friend no osu beto awia bebo apetampe se de tie no sa na tie ewu agama empepa so na hompopo mepa chop ne chia kwan Ghana ha obudumbram ne head office no triple S on na bo hwe no mu my 11 Fanny Fertility Hospital Gunaswa Drubi hu no Adenta Goil obutu wofre no 0549 8947777 ebra no etumrika inti kakra
Oman atiefo opade na the critical thinker from UK. So I didn't know what more and this for and some nuntungu. If it's a chachukata, as if say, oh, di agro, how many copies? I want to have some of the Kohoko yet, Ghana and Ingracia, Siacasia, and NDC de Bromano. Judges and I had one more as some to
Mano Crecasia bo a sister Tamika, say free Venice, Italy, NDC 4.
Omuni nina so bia womo de ko Supreme Court Ghana for time ni Supreme Court time no mo waste keke womo chiri no kure nti womo pese womo pa no kure ho ntoma no mo de ko fra kontompo so ye wa kuku dam Supreme Court judges no womo nya womo omo me dia grow Supreme Court nkyere wo
owa hen ne kata me majo from Jeremy kaza free London me won say NDC for no ama zo money case but as omo ye bibia ma omo supporters no so eni agikakra
hello owa hen ne nua me mamo ajo e friend mam say o kaza free France emom cha chupa ne nkrofo na enti de no omo kire enti lawyers in kanchro mo say obia mfa na asem nkofie na de mo ye na emoa ade na mo kire Adamu kase nipa ye nkwala na
me pese wo mo koje akuado nkode ye no no mo hwem
ataje wodi wonua ye mo dwuma ne no kura kase ne frame Thomas me kase free Belgium die di kan court asem de ekono de Ghana fo no nyina ye hwehwe no eno na ekono de Ghana fo na kase asem no ada se court bo batu ogu no eno na ekono de to subim ma tese okatache mo kase police fo bi achichi moto bi ni ade
Omanfm, Omajo, Akwadev Dini, UK. One say NDC supporters. Sidwin Ketia Banka home, Mamba Banka home, Flabo Banka home. No mutisi kroma, no mudi some phone. Oh, go for Kade, was a fool you a fool me. So I was Sanka a year to Mama Peswa, Obama was a tingan.
Mighty from Omajo, a friend of Boatma, the Cassafit, Begam. They say. The omo ye no the crack again. The Tonya the work can practice style the tremu. Omo disappointing NDC for papa. Obi o NDC be and so the tune for say NDC party they are trolling na da omo film.
Aba him for watch mu ya be ma chance in London. Bibi say me say Ghana holo nti emra ye adwuma. Obi a wakwaji bribe we Airbus. Ya kye no abedadi. Otumi enya akokuduro Edi aban no ekojira court say ya toro so aba na aba kra won tiase ntiase an kotoro foforo am say your prosecutors no mo Ghana no won take bibia say your politician o mo ya feli ye
FM madwene adwuma pa mo ya because every parliament frame chief Ghana for NDC for ye ni pa bi o mo ye ni pa bone ye for mo ye hwe o mo ye no man be bonyi na efiri o mo se ke ban kan NPP for so anya botre na ko mo tie mo gu the whole regions ni nyina esusu
Yadu was say watama watom now do voice note akana kureka se ho yemfa sadama aboafo na eme so
Opo Peter Kwansa na fam de edeboy sanso yesemfo Dr. Moses Okai enso esa kase no edema ye akenkafo no kwafo semtrofo ayenja demudi de Hugana semtrofo yenji bribe me owu ahene
konkofo na so nkosresre nyame adawroma ade etwa obi ho Kofi twaso ya kwa etu afa
me owu ahene entwibu esi akomene mebra
katachie mensa
ya sorry so kotokone interlies for bobo
okay
na miniso wapon dia omugusobo
omobo ho
obi anshebi
nanu Olympics
Olympics are the much hearts of folk too
omo no mo share hearts
yeah we ye week 12 no boy
okay
GPL no week 12 and mo nti Fabio Gama mo kwampoku mo kwamba mo de mo bench for kotoko
okay
but you head kwa
we onobo kwamba mensa so otie ye
yes
incoming DC
you say mampani bona baso
oh yes achimda
obodjuma
se nanu na boy se ne ka se last ye kan ya montie mo se na hwane senior minister say jenne ne ye wo grounds ye kasa
Madina ha no nsisa betimi aba
oh ha de
nsaba ye ho nsaba ye
ebeboa
okay
ebeboa ha de
Madina MC dibre no nsisa betimi abam
oh
ebema ye
oh yesu di mo yes sorry sponsor transfer
Adepano no kofa bae wasan de 3CP papa ebeboa efie bia aba mese adepa de etwamu da wo de 3CP egu somu dware a ebo ho ban efi muamoa ho fa 3CP efren so hohoro wanu anopa bia na ma wo se ho ban wonu aduane na eja ana esohie ehye wo a fa 3CP efren so fifa so eno